Today marks the first episode in a new series called How to Build a Survival Game in Unity. And the first episode we will be building a health, hunger and thirst system. To begin with, open an empty Unity project. If you don't know how to do this, check out our beginner course. Next, go under Window and Package Manager. Over here, go under My Assets and search for Standard Assets. If you don't find it, you're going to have to go to the Asset Store and then download it. Then click Import. And even though we just need the character, we'll import them all. Okay, once it's imported, right click on the main scene, create a 3D object, and make a terrain. Then go on the standard assets, characters, first person, prefabs, and then drag in the rigid body controller. Center it properly, and then now go under assets and create a new folder and call it scripts. Okay, now we will create our first script of this course, and we'll call it health system. Although it's called health system, this will have all of our things like thirst and hunger too. And ignore this text for now, we'll fix that later. Okay, now open this script in your favorite text editor. I'm using VS Code for Mac. Okay, so to begin with, we're gonna have to define a few variables. So first, public float. We'll need 3 actually, one for health, one for hunger, and one for thirst. Then we'll need another public float for max health, if I could type, max health, max hunger, and max thirst. Now this all makes sense. So in void start, we're gonna have to set health equal to max health. However, for thirst and hunger, we will not, because we will be incrementing from 0, moving on to max thirst and max hunger. So to begin with, in the void update, say hunger equals, or actually, we'll do plus equals, and we'll define a few more variables here. Public float hunger rate, and thirst rate. Then we'll say hunger equals to the thirst rate times time dot delta time. So what we're doing here is basically we have hunger, which will automatically be set to 0. Then it will add our thirst rate every second. Let's say our thirst rate is 1 every second. It would keep adding 1 hunger every second, or actually this should be hunger rate. So it will keep adding the hunger rate every second until it reaches the max hunger. And that's what we'll do later, and once it reaches that max hunger, it will start decreasing our health. So now we do the same thing with thirst. Thirst rate, and also times time dot delta time. Next, we're gonna have to do a bit of if statements. So if thirst is less than, or actually greater than or equal to thirst rate, then we'll want to set health minus or equal to. We can also use a float for this, and that would be health rate. This will be the amount the health decreases by every time your food or thirst reaches the max thirst or max hunger. And then we'll also add another if statement for hunger. If hunger is greater than or equal to max hunger, then health minus equals health rate. Okay, let me just fix that. So basically what's happening here is the same as before, and that's pretty much our hunger and thirst. However, we could do a bit of code optimizations. For example, here, our hunger and thirst will be incremented infinitely even if the player dies. And also, we still don't even have a player die script or function. So first I'll be modifying this. So I'll wrap them in an if statement, and I'll say if hunger is less than or equal to max hunger, then do this. And same thing down. Okay, we'll just copy this, paste that down there, take the thirst, and put it in the place. So basically what we're doing right now is we're saying if the hunger still hasn't reached the max hunger, then we can add the hunger rate every second. However, if it does reach the max hunger, we will stop adding the hunger rate. So the player won't infinitely get hungry. Oh, obviously over here this should be thirst and max thirst. Okay, another thing we should do is if the health drops below is less than or equal to 0, then we'll run function die, which we'll create right now. Scroll to the bottom and create private void die, takes in no parameters, and then for now we'll just say destroy game object. Nothing more than that. So basically what's happening is every second the player is losing hunger and thirst, and whenever the hunger and thirst reaches a certain amount, then the player will start losing health. Let's test that out in Unity. Okay, now to fix this error, we're just gonna have to get rid of this script because it's been updated. So go under standard assets, then utility, and then delete simple activator menu. This one, and delete. And we won't even be using any of these scripts, so it doesn't really matter. Except the one for the character, of course. So now when this completes, we're going to be adding the player health script to the player, and we'll add some numbers for testing, and then we'll see if it works as planned. Okay, now we can go under scripts, drag and drop the health script onto the player. Actually, it didn't really drag in. Okay, and oh wait, did we make any of them private? They're all public. Why can't I see the values? Okay guys, turns out I did not save. Make sure you do that. Okay guys, turns out I did not save, so make sure you save that. Then head back into Unity, and you should find all these stuff now. So max health, we'll set that to 100. Max hunger, we'll set that to 1 for now, and thirst for 1, as well as rate 1. And health rate, we'll put that to 10. These numbers are just for testing, so let's play and see what happens. So as you can see, the player reaches the health in no time, and he dies. We'll actually add some health now, just so we can watch the numbers. So as you can see, the hunger and thirst reaches this minimum, and then boom, he starts losing health, and at one point he'll die. Thank you guys, and I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for the next lesson, where we will be creating an inventory system, and yeah, enjoy.